Hi everyone, I'm Jake and these are the business findings for my project, Hearth. Hearth is a safety device for high-rise residents faced with the ever-growing threat of building fires. The system uses an adaptive, evolving map to direct evacuees, taking away the stress of navigation and allowing them to focus on escape. For building owners, this offers an increased response time, prompting a faster evacuation and simpler firefighting process. To reduce cost and encourage easier integration, the system operates on existing infrastructure and works wirelessly. Outside of emergencies, it operates as a smart home hub and intercom, controlling the apartment's devices, communicating with visitors and operating door locks remotely, offsetting the once-in-a-lifetime safety feature with appealing modcons. Distinguishing between these two, the user and the customer, is essential to my project, so let's get into them. Firstly, the customer, building owners and developers. These guys are running a business, so the majority of their concerns relate to economics. How expensive will the system be in the long run? Does it offer a good safety rating to cost ratio? How difficult will it be to install or retrofit? As for general traits, the audience is quite varied, ranging from top-of-the-line modern developments to overseers of older structures. They are, however, largely metropolitan and often privately owned. The developers themselves are quite divorced from the product, relegating the safety design to engineers and will ultimately never use it as they don't actually live in the building. On the other hand, we have the actual users, the building's residents. Their needs differ greatly from the building owners, focusing instead on the user experience, ease of access, and tangible results. This group is far harder to pin down than developers. While they all reside in metropolitan areas, they come from diverse backgrounds and live in various group sizes, making a catch-all solution quite difficult to plan. This is only complicated by their behaviour during a fire, where they're caught unaware and will be acting erratically. These are all challenges the design will need to face, but should it succeed, an appropriate business model will be necessary to take it to the next step. Given the nature of the product, it will most likely begin its life as a startup. The initial stage of the business will be self-funded and will create a rudimentary prototype and validate the concept. With this proven, it can then be pitched to the local government for grants, such as the EMDG or Melbourne Small Business Grant, to refine it into the minimum viable product. From here, it can be pitched to investors, which will fund production, expansion, and the minimum necessary staff to run the business. In this stage, the revenue will most likely be minimal and mostly used to maintain operations and provide proof of concept. Should the business survive the hostile startup stage, the model will need to be revised. This exercise helped plan out how the product would work in a real-world environment, and through discussion with my industry advisors, helped clear up a few key assumptions. Firstly, I'd planned a master control module for firefighters to interact with, but after discussing my idea with an actual firefighter, he informed me that they already had adequate systems and that it wouldn't be necessary. He did, however, agree with my other advisor that additional function would be necessary to upsell the design, and that added services, if they had long-term financial benefits, would too. Both agreed that an international market was necessary to see the design flourish, contrary to my push for a local operation, and finally that some form of construction code approved benefit would be necessary to see it succeed. So, in conclusion, my findings were quite simple. Budget is everything and will drive the success of the design. Everyday use is essential to offset the rarity of the system's actual operation. Users will vary with differing levels of comprehension and reaction to the fire, and lastly, that firefighters have plans and won't need to interact with it at all. That's all for now, so thank you for listening and goodbye.